All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Since you too, it's Pastor Dow. I want to do a video here this morning speaking about better than experience. All right, check out that title. Better than experience. I have actually been doing this community thing for, I would say, 20 years. I've actually had boots on the ground for 17 years. And I've seen people come, and I definitely have seen them go. I've seen people come, as an old statement we have around Straightway is, a new broom always sweeps good. And of course, to understand that statement right there, or to comprehend it, means that hey, what doesn't function good new? It ain't until it gets a little bit old you find out exactly the longevity of it, if it's a good product or not. Same way with humanity. People have a very high lofty opinion of themselves. People are very difficult. And wherever people are in their minds at that present time, a leader has to understand, to them, that is truth. Let me say it again. No matter where people are at in their minds at any particular time, and they can't see as far as the leader sees, to them it is truth. So therefore, they're going to contend and be contentious over things that they do not understand, because it's just like in a family. When a parent instructs a child, a parent is actually telling the child what needs to go on. They're finding good in their adolescent years, but as soon as they start hitting them teenage years, they start questioning everything, because their minds are being developed. And the questioning is taken by the parents as a form of disrespect. Why am I bringing all this up for? Well, because people have anticipations when they come to different communities. And I don't understand the speech of some of you people out there. Commune. Is your home a commune? I mean, right here, for instance, look over there. Look over here. Automatically, the world will call that place right there a housing community. That's what they call it now. And these homes are a whole lot closer than our homes out on the community. But all of a sudden, when you get people that are living the faith, doing the faith, all of a sudden you are a commune. That's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing the difference in the way that people communicate, isn't it? Or if you're stacked up on top of each other in an apartment, that's fine and good. All right? But if you're stacked up on top of each other and you live out in the country and you live in the faith and you're separating yourself so you can live a quiet, peaceful life, all of a sudden it's a commune and it's a cult. It's amazing the way they've conditioned our minds, isn't it? All right, but back to this. I assure you that if you're moving to any community or around any community, that you do not know more than the leaders or the preachers or the teachers say. You don't know it. You assume you do because that's where you at. And knowledge does not always equate to wisdom. I promise you that. And neither does wisdom come by multitudes of years either, just because you're old and you have gray hair on your face. No. None of that is truth at all. And a lot of times people have to go through these painful changes in their lives. Now, watch this. Every time someone has left our community or our tribe, now that's the terms we prefer to use, I've never seen anybody actually leave and actually had anything good to say. Just like I've never seen anybody leave a job and actually had anything good to say, because the truth is, to you, if it was good, you would have never left. I mean, how many people do you actually hear go through a divorce and actually have anything good to say? Most people just, what they murmur from the complaints within their own hearts, and they assume that people don't have complaints about them. Excuse me. They assume that their complaint is valid. But the majority of time here in this world, we're not conditioned to listen to the other sides of people's stories, especially if we have built relationships and we're fond of these people. Because the truth is, there are always two sides to every story. And if you make the mistake of only hearing one side, like so many people do, what are you going to do when the other side comes out and the facts seem to be, very compelling? So in order to prevent yourself a lot of embarrassment and shame, especially putting yourself out there because you trusted someone else's opinion or so-called experience, I'll receive this a lot. I had this one woman, I think she came to the community twice, a short period of time, no more than a few days during events. That's it. And she would get out there and make videos acting like that she has been a personal witness, or she was in our in circles at the community, acting like she speaks from personal experience. Amazing, isn't it? Or you have someone that never lived on the community, that's been to church there for a number of years. They act like they know the ins, the outs, the functions, and everything about the community, even though maybe in the whole, let me just throw a hypothetical number out there. 10 years, they may have worked 1 or 2 days on the community. That's it, period. But they would go out here and present themselves as if they are eyewitnesses, or they know the intricate workings and all the details of the community. No, not so. That ain't true. No more than you know all the intricate workings or the details of any business. If you are an employee, you do not know what the store managers, the district managers, them know about the running of that company. Sorry. Every level, there's limits in knowledge. I hope I'm making sense, because I don't want me to you to make mistakes thinking that you hear this ministry and you hear other ministries like it, and thinking that you assume that you're ready to do something like this, because it's a great sacrifice, and everybody's not ready to do this. Everybody's not ready to give up their conveniences in this life. They think that they are, because what we do is we look at other people and we say within ourselves, if they can do it, I can do it. When I was in the 82nd Airborne Division, let's just go there. I could use the OPFOR. When I was in the military, I spent an extraordinary amount of time living in the bush. In the field, beating. No tents, no stoves, no central air and heating, no generators. Because when you're in a jump unit, when you're in an airborne unit, a U.S. Army paratrooper, an airborne unit, you don't get all them conveniences and stuff. You are a soldier of a soldier. Just like SF, SEALs, Force Recon, the infantry. We train totally different than regular Army soldiers, totally different. So my tent was, when you look up in the air, go outside, step outside the door, and look up in the air. That was my tent. That was my covering, the sky. If it rained, we got rained on. If it was hot, we got scorched. That's just the way it is. And we spent 3 weeks at a time, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks at a pop, out there in the field. Now, most people arrogantly think, oh, I can do that. Oh, you can do it in your mind right now until it's time for you to get out there to do it. Because see, you ain't gonna get up in the morning and go wash your tail. No. You're gonna be stinky. And past stink. You're gonna get to the point where you can smell it, and then there's a point that even though the stink is even greater, your nose, your sense of smelling has done changed. You don't even know how funky you are. And neither do the people that are around you that been out there training with you the whole time. Boy, when you come back home in the garrison, whoa, everybody smells it. There's a stench. You wouldn't believe how nasty these bodies are. I said all that to say that people just assume that they can do things that other people can do. But yet and still they remain opinionated, but they will not put themselves in a position to prove themselves to see if they can really truly do it. That will be a wise person. A wise person would be, okay, for instance, we have Gathering of the Saints. God's coming up, 2015, right? If you learn some things here, as far as God's go, the best thing to do, get back home and implement it. I can't tell you how many times over the years that I have taught people things. Have you ever done this before? You have literally spent the time, energy, effort, and taught people things that they seemed like they were interested in knowing. Then when it came time for action, when it came time for them to implement what you taught them, when they get out of your presence, all of a sudden they don't have the motivation to learn. Man, I can probably name 50 people all right off the top of my head that I've done that with. That they seem like they're interested in learning, they want to know, but then when it comes time for them to get by themselves, they really truly not interested. See, their mind was telling them, yeah, we're interested, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, do that. But in function and reality and in action, you find they ain't going to do nothing. You don't believe how many people they say, oh, we're going to go out and do this, we're going to start a community, we're going to do this, we're going to start a homestead. Only come to find out, here you are 10 years later, and these people are still renting, stuck in an apartment, or stuck in a city. I'm mostly talking about men, because men, they're, in my opinion, and as humble as I value my opinion, they are the ones responsible for the leadership of the home. And a home or any community is only going to be as good as the leader. You're only going to see any prosperity of any place based on the spirit of the leader. And that's just the truth. So I said all that to say this. I think it would be wise if people would actually just step back and do a good assessment of themselves. What saith you?